Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to talk women's basketball, and with us, head coach Kendra Faustin. Coach, first of all, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me.
A couple tough games this past weekend. Two very good opponents taking on Hillsdale and Saginaw Valley State here in Glee play.
Yeah, let me tell you, this league is really good, and it's fun to be a part of. But night in and night out, certainly a battle.
I know the Bulldogs certainly an emotional type of week as well, with senior night taking place on Thursday in conjunction with the game against Hillsdale, and Emily Evans, Katie Mavis, both honor between games, and certainly two great senior leaders for your program.
No question. Emily is so positive and just such a hard worker. She's been through it's been a tough year for her, and she's handled it with grace and poise and great strength. On and off the court, and just a lot of fun to coach every day. And then Katie Mavis, of course, just been a part of our program for 5 years and given so much of herself to our program. She really defines what a Bulldog is.
Here against Hillsdale, as we see the senior night presentation
Yeah.
here, get into the game, and Hillsdale off to a great start before your team really came back in the second half.
Yeah, we did not have a great first half. I don't even know how to sugarcoat that. We really struggled containing the bounce and transition, just getting up and down the floor. A long season, a lot of young players, a couple of players that have played 2 seasons with our volleyball players as well. But I thought in the second half, we came out much better. We scored a lot of points in the second half. We didn't score that many points in a game once. So, we're just so up and down right now, and really looking. Clearly Rachel has been steady the entire year, and our guards are starting to shoot it better. We shot 50% from 3, and so that's encouraging. We're just looking to put it together on the defensive end. I thought Hannah Guy really came alive this game. She got a couple finishes at the basket. Knocked down a couple jumpers, and so that's really encouraging for her. She's really been working at that.
You mentioned you fall behind at halftime, but you came back, you outscored Hillsdale pretty convincingly in both quarters here in the second half.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think we picked it up on the defensive end, so we got to go a little bit in transition and get some easy post scores, and they did not double us in the post, which really allowed Rachel to really go to work, and she did a really nice job getting the free throw line as well.
She finished with 12 points. Katie Mavis with 13 points to lead you, and then right there, Hannah Guy, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and great to have Katie have a great game the last time she's playing on this court, and I think you saw before the game how emotional that was, and she knocked down a couple threes, and really happy for her.
Bulldogs taking on the Chargers for the second time this year. You fall short in that one, but not a lot of time to think about it. Saginaw Valley State, a very good basketball team, just a couple days later.
Absolutely. They're playing for a North Division championship, and they came out in the first half exactly like that. I thought we did a nice job on their leading scorer, Emily Wendling, in the paint, and our post did a nice job, and we struggled at the top to contain the bounce. Which has been sort of the story of our year on the defensive end.
As we go to the highlights of the Saginaw Valley game, the Bulldogs beat Saginaw Valley in the first matchup this year on a buzzer beater, and certainly you knew they were going to come back ready to play.
Absolutely, and I think right here Haley Neiman really stepped up. She was a formidable opponent, and we certainly give her a lot of credit. She had a great game. I thought Rachel got going in the second half. She struggled offensively. We were begging her to shoot that, and she knocks down two mid-range jumpers. They weren't defending her out there. Sometimes Rachel forgets how good she is. And so we pulled her out a little bit into the perimeter, and certainly in the second half. And, she got a bunch of baskets. There's another one. And then we hit a couple threes late to, making our run in the second half. I think we cut it to 11. And Hannah Guy and Margot Brown and Katie Mavis, both all made some threes to get us going.
Rachel with 17 points, Katie Mavis with a big 3 right here for you, and Hannah Guy finished in double figures with 10, her career high.
Yeah, and Hannah's really been working at it. So, at this point in February, after practice, normally, folks are leaving the gym, and Hannah's there, Rachel's there, Katie's there, still working. Margot Brown, the same thing. Lexi Bush, really, all of our players are still working. We're still trying to get better every day. And, unfortunately, for Katie Mavis and Emily Evans, that work will pay off, and that character and that building confidence will pay off. But Katie and Emily, unfortunately, will be in the stands when that happens. But
they'll have an opportunity to play their final game here in a Bulldog uniform on Thursday night. As
yeah.
you travel to Grand Valley State. Talk about this matchup against Grand Valley on Thursday.
Yeah, Grand Valley, tough matchups for us. They're really perimeter oriented and make a lot of threes. So we're going to do some different things and prep this week for Grand Valley, and we're looking forward to playing again.
Talk about what it takes going into that type of environment against an opponent like that in a rivalry game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. This will be my first one, so that's exciting. I know that Katie and Emily talk about it and what that atmosphere is like. And anytime you get to play in front of a crowd, whether it's hostile for you or hostile against you, it's fun. And it's a big game that certainly I think both teams are up for.
I know certainly been a challenging year, but what have you learned here over the past year, and what have your players learned here in terms of bonding together?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think we've laid the foundation for the culture of who we are and what we're about, and doing things on a daily basis the right way. Our freshmen have come a long way. We'll spend a lot of the off season in the gym working on our skills and a lot on defense.
I know those freshmen obviously got a lot of playing experience, so that will certainly help pay off as you move forward.
Absolutely, and just the support of the overall athletic department and the university and the community has been remarkable. And every game it's somebody encouraging us or encouraging our players or myself or Coach Hurd, and really that support it allows us to continue to grow in the right way.
I know you mentioned what both Katie and Emily have meant to the Bulldog program. What will be it like here Thursday night in their final game?
Yeah, it'll be emotional, certainly. Yeah, I'll get emotional talking about it. It's if you've been around a team and people and players like Katie Mavis and Emily Evans, you know how much they've given and how much not only Ferris State and Bulldogs, but their teammates. And this is where they've gone from being kids to being young women, and I couldn't be more proud of them, and just grateful that I got the opportunity to coach them for a year, and disappointed that I couldn't coach them for longer.
Well, Coach, best of luck to the Bulldogs as you travel to Grand Valley State on Thursday night, and hoping to come back with a victory.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.